Hello guys, today we're going to be talking about UFC fighters who only fight elites, or in other words, just never duck out of fun fights. So before we get into it, make sure to like and subscribe, and maybe share this video, send it to your friends. Let's get straight into it. Alright, starting off the list, we got one of my personal favorites, of all time. He's not included in the channel's banner, but we're starting off with Chad Mendes. This dude is the definition of beats good fighters, beats good fighters, but that he beats good fighters that never were top 3, and then he loses to fighters that are in that top 5, 4, 3-ish areas. He beat Darren Elkins, pretty good win. He beat Cub Swanson, great win. He beat Clay Guida, I would call it a mid-win. He beat Ricardo Lames, which is pretty good win as well. Nick Lentz, pretty mid-win. And he lost to McGregor, Aldo twice, and Volk, and then he got knocked out by Yeager. And those losses have no shame in them. It's not like you're just losing to all these chumps. You're actually losing to good fighters. McGregor, one of the greatest featherweights of all time and the most popular fighter in history. Aldo, the second greatest featherweight of all time. Some people might even clarify him as the greatest. Probably, there's not many of those people out there anymore, but there's some old heads that consider Aldo as the greatest. He lost to Volk. We all know is the greatest featherweight of all time, and he lost to Yeager, who's one of them. Yeager beat BJ Penn, he beat Munoz, he beat a bunch of good fighters, and they have no shame in those losses. And all his wins are pretty elite too. I mean, most of them are mid, the Guida, Lentz, and I would say Lames or Elkins win. They're not elite, but they're not mid. They're all right. And then the Swanson win is pretty elite, if you ask me. Next fighter. And the next one, people forget about him, Altice Nicolau. He beat Manel Kape, who is the number 1 contender right now, / number 2, because Pantoja's probably going to fight for the title next. He beat Louis Smolka, pretty elite win, Hawaii's best flyweight. He beat Tim Elliott, elite win. He beat Matt Scannell, which is, I don't think it's that impressive. And he only lost to the best 2. He lost to Asaul Mabayev, he lost to Royval, he lost to Dustin Ortiz, he lost to Alex Perez. Those are, maybe, I feel Perez, it's either him knocking someone out, him knocking out a striker, or him getting submitted in the first round by a grappler. It's not the worst loss, but the fact that he got KO'd by him, I don't know. People really forget that this guy really never ducked out of fights. He is, one of the elites. Even though he got cut because he was on a 3-fight losing streak after losing to Mabayev, who's, one of the guys. He's top 5 right now, I would say. Maybe top 6 because Horiguchi and Royval exist. But, yeah, he's, really... Asaul Mabayev's really elite. He's coming off a banana split submission. He beat Manel Kape, who's number 1 contender, if you don't count in Pantoja. And he also beat Matt Scannell, who's not the most impressive, but, Matt Scannell did fight a lot of the elites, Royval, Pantoja, Costa, those guys. So, I'll consider him probably a never ducking out of fights type of fighter, so... Now moving on to the next fighter. And you guys might be wondering why I have Michael Chandler on this list, but my video is based on who fights the elite, and basically just resume boosters. I don't want to put in the most popular, I'm not putting in DC or John Jones or Khabib. People really forget that Michael Chandler does fight all of the elites. Or actually, people forget that. People just doubt him out every fight. I think after his last performance, we all admit that he should be retired, but, think about it. He beat Tony Ferguson. The point that Tony wasn't at the time was not that good. He beat Dan Hooker. I would say that's pretty elite. Not actually elite, never mind. He beat Pitbull. Not the word Patricky Pitbull, by the way, not Patricio. He beat Eddie Alvarez. He beat Benson Henderson twice, and he lost to only the elites. Look at this list. Charles Oliveira twice. Gaethje, Poirier, Hoofy, Alvarez, Pitbull, Patricio at this point. It's Patricio. And then Paddy Pimblett. And all those losses have no shame in them. I mean, like, losing to Patricio in his Bellator days, really, it's not that shameful. There's really no guys that he should have been that he actually had a chance against on this list that he lost to, except for Patricio, maybe Eddie Alvarez, but it was still a split decision loss to Eddie Alvarez, so there's no shame in all those losses. And I really have nothing to talk about him. He looks terrible in his recent performances, but like in his Bellator days, he was really elite. Next fighter. If you had to make a resume booster list / like only fights the elite list, you have to put Jose Aldo on here. Just look at the people he beat. Cub Swanson, elite. Korean Zombie, elite. Uriah Faber, elite. Jeremy Stephens, good. Moicano, good. Mendez twice, both elite. Kenny Florin, I would say good. Marlon Chito Vera, it's mid. At this point, it's not even that, I don't really give a crap if you beat him. Munoz, I would say mid. Egger twice, elite. And it's not like he beat like washed Egger. He beat like Egger when he was Egger. Or I don't think that makes any sense, but he beat Egger when he was actually like in his prime. Definitely the first fight too. Ricardo Lamos, I would call it a pretty good win too. He only lost to the best. He lost to McGregor, 13-second knockout loss. He lost to Max Holloway twice. He lost to Volk. He lost to Jan. He lost to Merab. He lost to Bautista, and he lost to Moraes. And some people will argue that he beat Moraes in Bautista. So there's he deserves to be on here 100%. I think he beat Bautista. I do think that Moraes fight was a draw. It could have I wouldn't be mad if it went to either guy. But if you had to nail it down to one, I do think Moraes probably took that fight, but really, really close. And what do I even have to say about this dude's resume? Mendez twice, Faber, Egger twice, and Egger was in his prime in the first fight. So we're just gonna get to go to the next fighter because I don't even need to explain this, Jose Aldo being on this list. And one of my favorites as well, but it's not on the poster, on the channel poster, is Glover Teixeira. This dude is the best resume booster of all time / accepting fights of all time. He literally beat Rampage, Jan Blachowicz, Thiago Santos, St. Prix. He beat Ryan Bader, he beat Rashad Evans, he beat Jared Cannonier, he beat Nikita Krylov, he beat Anthony Smith and Kutalaba. Those are pretty all-elite wins, except Anthony Smith and Kutalaba. I think Krylov's underrated as heck. I really love him, even though he just lost to Robert Whittaker, bro. There's no shame of losing to Bobby Knuckles, but I think Krylov is really underrated. I love Krylov, personally. And he lost to Corey Anderson. I don't get how you beat Rampage. Jan Blachowicz, and Jared Cannonier, and even Rashad Evans, but then you lose to Corey Anderson. It's not the best loss. It's not the worst loss and not the best loss. He lost to Jamal Hill. He was 45. He lost to Yuri. He was 43. He lost to Gus. No shame. He lost to Rumble. R.I.P. Rumble. No shame. He lost to John Jones. No shame in that. And then he lost to Phil Davis. I don't know. Phil Davis did beat Yoel Romero by split decision, but I would say that's not the worst loss and not the best loss either. Just mid. Number 6, I had to put the GOAT, the Italian Dream, Marvin Vettori. He beat Roman Dolidze, he beat Paulo Costa, he beat Kevin Holland, and he beat Jack Hermanson. Jack Hermanson, back then, was pretty insane, so I would say that's a pretty good win. Kevin Holland win, it's alright. Kevin Holland has beat, Vicente Luque and Oleg Zaitchak and Randy Brown, and he also beat, my GOAT, Jack Ray Sosa, but I would say that's mid-win. He beat Paulo Costa, impressive win, and he beat Roman Dolidze, which I would say is alright win, because we all know Dolidze has a lot of weaknesses. And he lost to Adesanya twice, no shame. He lost to Whittaker, no shame. Lost to Cannonier, no shame. Lost to Dolidze. Now, that's just a loss that catches my eye when I looked at his resume. Like, you can't be beating Paulo Costa and Hermanson, but you're losing to Delice and Bruno Ferreiro. And he had a draw with I don't know how to say his name. And he lost to Brendan Allen as well and Bruno Ferreiro. I mean, like, he does lose a lot of his fights against elites, but he always fights the elites, and he's kind of a resume booster, too. And the next fighter we all probably know as, like, the most, not even resume booster, but, like, the most, like, tough guy of all time who takes fights no matter what. Chat, where do I even have to start? Number 7 has to be Dan Ige no matter what. He beat Sean Woodson. He beat Edson Barbosa, split decision. He beat Bektic. He beat Feely. He beat Nate Landwehr. Not the best one though. He beat Damon Jackson, and he lost to Lopez on short notice. He lost to Korean Zombie. He lost to Melky Costa. He lost to Cater. He lost to Evluyev. He lost to Emmett. He lost to Murphy. I think that was on short notice as well. He lost to Mitchell, and he lost to Pitbull. And I think like half of those are on short notice, which is just crazy to me. I'm positive that the Lopez and Murphy, like the 2 number 1 contenders right now, or 2 number 2/number 3 contenders right now, that he took both of them on short notice and had like hell fights. I don't know about Evloyev. I don't know if he took it on short notice or not. And just where do I have to start? Like, knocked out Woodson, beat Barbosa, split decision, beat Bektic, split decision, knocked out Feely, knocked out Landwehr, I think it was a unanimous decision, actually. And then had a unanimous decision to win against Damon Jackson. And all his losses have no shame. I feel like the only one that does have a little bit of shame behind it, like, you can't be, like, beating Barbosa and Bektic and Feely and Woodson and Damon Jackson, but losing to Mitchell and Pitbull. Like, Mitchell, I wouldn't say is the worst loss, like, but Pitbull, bro, you're really losing to Pitbull. Like, Pitbull right now in the UFC, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but he's not top 15 worthy. I'm just saying that right now. I don't think he's top 15 worthy. Unless it's either Aaron Pico's too good or Pitbull's too bad. And I think it's Pitbull's too bad. Well, if you like that video, make sure to like and subscribe. Share it to your friends. Any suggestions or ideas about what my next video should be about in the comments, just comment that to me and I might do it. Alright, just bye. Make sure to like and subscribe.